We're gonna start at the very beginning. A very good place to start.
Hi, it's Nancy Tierney from firecrackercommunications.com, and I am here to talk to you about one of the most critical make or break parts of your copy, and that is the beginning. It's those first words and phrases that you have at the top of your sales page, your work with me page, the beginning of an email. Those words, that part of your copy is critical because it is going to determine whether someone keeps reading or clicks away, or keeps reading or clicks the delete button. You've only got so much time to hook your reader in and get them interested in what it is that you have to say so they keep reading. So today I am going to give you one of my favorite ways to lure your reader into the heart and soul of your copy. It's called the Reese's Pieces technique. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie E.T. I hope you've seen the movie E.T. because it's a great movie. But E.T. is the little extraterrestrial that's hanging out in Elliot's garage. And Elliot, the little boy, tries to lure E.T. into the house. Well, how's he going to do that? Because E.T.'s scared. And he does it by laying out Reese's Pieces. He puts one little piece down and then another and creates this trail. And so E.T. comes and takes the first one and finds it so irresistible that he has to go waddle over, get the second, and then move a little further and take in the third. And finally, E.T. ends up in front of Elliot and in his house, and the whole story begins, right? Well, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do the same thing in your copy, and here's what I mean. You're going to start with one concise, irresistible little phrase that's going to make people hungry for the second phrase, that's going to naturally lead them to the third phrase, and so on and so forth. So let me give you an example. This is just an example. Let's say you're writing an email and you start with, "Uh-oh, you did it again, didn't you?" Immediately your reader's going to go, "I did what again? Who are you talking to?" And they're going to want to know what comes next. So your second phrase could be something like, "You promised you wouldn't do it, and yet again you did." And still they're not sure what it is, but it has a little bit more meat in it because they promised themselves they wouldn't do it. And so they want to keep reading. They want to know how the story goes. And the third little Reese's piece is something has a little bit more to it, like, "Yeah, but it was a Saturday night. You had nothing to do. There was nothing on TV, and you just couldn't resist." Wow. So what is it that you couldn't resist? Okay. And then you give them the whole enchilada. So you went online, you resubscribed to that online dating service, you updated your profile, and spent 2 to 3 hours searching, trying to find one person that you would even consider dating, maybe even meeting, or at least emailing. So now you're really into it. But at this point, it's like, you know who you're talking to, they know you're talking to them if they are your target audience and they are someone who's, looking for a date or for a mate. And they know what you're talking about too. They sense that this is what you're going to be talking about in your message, but they still want to know, well, what is it? What do you have to say about this? What is what comes next? What are you going to tell me if this is me? So do you see how that works? It's just like one little simple phrase, another little simple phrase, and then each one reveals a little bit more. And then from there, in the case of this email, you could really get into the meat of your message about how disappointing it is, these online sites are, and why, and how you have an alternative, and talk to them about what the alternative is. So now let me point out why it works. There's a couple of elements that I think you'll notice, which is the first phrase was, "Uh-oh, you did it again, didn't you?" Now, the thing that gets people is the you and the it. They know you're talking to them. "You did it again, didn't you?" What? What? I did what? And then the second question that you've posed is the it. They don't know what it is yet. They have to read on to find out. that's a trick you can use a lot in copy and in subject lines and other things. So it's the you and the it really makes that intriguing, and once they need to keep reading in order to find out more. But you could equally do something like start with something intriguing that doesn't necessarily have those words in it, but makes people want to know more. Like, you never, or like this is another, oh, let me just give you an example. You never imagined this would happen when you brought your baby home from the hospital. So that's for a very specific audience too. It's people that have kids. Or it could be maybe you never thought this day would come when you first brought your baby home from the hospital. So it could be, that could relate to anything. But it's enough, do you see how it rouses curiosity that you want to find out, like, I didn't think what would happen when I brought my baby home from the hospital. So this technique works really well with emails. It does work with pages as well, like web pages, work with me pages. You have to have a little bit more finesse with it. It can really work with sales pages as well. You just have to really lead people in and really be aware of who you're talking to, of course. So it's something of interest to them. And but this is just one of a thousand different ways to really hook your readers in from the very beginning of your copy. And next week I'm going to talk about another one that's very tried and true, is very dependable and reliable. And if you're working on something now and you've got a lead or a hook that's just not hooky enough, you really want to find a way to make it more compelling and immediately engageable, hit me up and we'll schedule a quickie copywriting makeover and get your lead, that first part, those first words and phrases, just really engaging and compelling, and make them so that it just leads people into the meat of your message. All right, till later, bye.